Hey, what is going on, everybody? I am back today with another video, and if my voice is sounding a little bit different today, yeah, hopefully you guys can actually hear me. It's because I'm trying to test this out without headphones, because I don't know if it's the microphone in my headphones that's causing this malfunctioning with my computer, my laptop. Or what. But today I'm going to be doing a deck review for a special friend named That Poofed Gem. He's a good friend on Discord. His YouTube name is Diamond Cat. Go check him out. He's in my subscription list. He hasn't done a video in a long time, but he's really cool. Now, let's get right into the deck review. Now, this is a Nordic deck. And the Nordics revolve around the synchro monsters, thus following Loki, Thor, and Odin. And just because a clear wing synchro dragon. If you guys know who this is, good for you guys. You know the Crystal Wing series. Now, one of the key cards is to bring out one of these three, mainly Odin. In order to bring him out, you need one Nordic Ascendant tuner and two non-tuner monsters, all the way to equal level 10. And what she does is she's a good second turn card, because when this card is normal summoned, if your opponent controls a monster and you control no other cards, meaning your opponent has to summon a monster to their side of the field, and you must have played no other card in your hand. Like, you can't set a card, you can't activate field spell, nothing. She must be the only card on the field in order to do this. Where was I at? Yeah, and you control no other cards. You can banish two Nordic monsters from your hands. Normally, I'd like to do that with my Gunmirs, or one of my copies of the required materials, and bring special summon two. Don't know how to say these tokens. Warrior Earth level 4s, both level 4, in defense position. Now, that's really good because she is a tuner and she's the Nordic Ascendant. Now, all three of these guys are level 10, so you could probably see where this is going. You're bringing out two level 4s, which equals up to 8. And she's a level 2, equaling up to the 10 you need in order to bring out Odin. So if you can get her in your first turn, oh baby, is it going to be awesome. You can bring him out super quick. Now hopefully you guys can hear me and my voice isn't too horrible. If it is, I am very sorry, and I'm just going to go with the headphones route from now on, and apologize for that at the beginning of every video I do with this. But what Odin here does is once per turn, you can make this card be unaffected by spells and trap effects until the end of the turn. It's amazing. Once per turn during the end phase, if this face-up card you controlled was destroyed by your opponent's card and sent to the graveyard. Now, it says your opponent's card, which means it doesn't say card effect. It can even be destroyed by battle. Instead of the graveyard this turn, you could banish one Nordic Ascendant tuner from your graveyard. Banish her. Special summon this card. And he has a bonus effect when special summoned that way. When summoned this way, draw one card. It's pretty good. And here comes the bits where you need Thor. Thor here I will read his effects immediately. He needs one Nordic Beast tuner and two non-tuner monsters. They all require 2 because they're level 10. and they're basically gods, because they are gods. Ruler of Asgard, Lord of Thunder, and Lord of God of Mischief. Now, once per turn, you can negate the effects of all face-up monsters your opponent currently controls, until the end of this turn. Only on your turn, though. Once per turn during the end phase, if this card you controlled was destroyed by an opponent's card instead of the graveyard, they all have this bit, you can banish one Nordic Beast Tuner from your graveyard and special summon it. If special summoned this way, inflict 800 damage to your opponent. It's wicked. Now, in order to bring him out, the main combo is have this guy on the field, and when he's destroyed and he's in your hand, when a Nordic monster is destroyed by battle, special summon this guy. And when he is destroyed by battle, you special summon 2 level 2 tokens. And his effect is, like, when a monster you control is destroyed by battle instead of the graveyard, you can special summon this card from your hand. That's amazing. Now, the best play to do is put him in defense mode, because he's got good defense, and his effect requires defense mode. When this defense position card on the field is changed to face-up attack position, you can special summon one Nordic Beast monster from your deck in defense position. And that's really good, because if you can manage to keep this guy out on the field, like if this guy stays on the field, or you have another one in your hand, you have to have both of these two out, and then use his effect to bring out Glufnir. Now, his effect isn't really important, but he is the Nordic Beast Tuner monster that you need in order to bring out Thor. Now we have Loki here. He has 2 different ways you can bring him out. And one of the ways, you need to have one of these 2 already out. He needs 1 Nordic Althar tuner, 2 plus 2 non-tuner monsters. Once per turn, when your opponent activates a spell or trap during the battle phase, quick effect. This is a quick effect, by the way. You can negate the activation, and if you do, destroy it. Once per turn during the end phase, if this card, again, they all have this, you can banish 1 Nordic Althar monster, special summon this. And when he's special summoned this way, you can target 1 trap in your graveyard and add it to your hand. It's really good. Now, the main way to bring him out is to either, here's what I do a lot, make sure he's on the field and these 2 are in my hand. Normal summon him. When he's normal summoned, you can have an additional normal summon, and then you normal summon the Lysolf, and when you normal summon Lysolf, you target 1 Nordic monster. You gotta make sure it's one of these guys in order to bring out the final piece correctly. And special summon a monster from your hand or deck to the field. Now, you need to do it to one of these guys, because it special summons the monster of the equal or lower level of the selected monster. So you'd bring out this level 5 buddy, the Selatov, and that's 4, 9, 10 right there. Now that's only way 1. Way 2 is with Mara here. Mara's effect is pretty unique. When using this, and these are both tuners, by the way. When using this card as a synchro material, the other synchro materials must be 2 Nordic monsters in your hand. So you can use these 2 to make the level 10, and that's a bing bang Loki right off the bat, just from 1 summon. But you gotta make sure you have the level 10 requirement. And here is the best one of the tuners in this deck. Here, I'll move her right here so I can scroll down for her. For a synchro summon, you can substitute this card for any one Nordic tuner, which means she can either be a Nordic Ascendant, a Nordic Beast, or a Nordic Ulfar to bring out any of these guys. Now, she is level 4, so that's going to make it complicated for these two here in some plays, but here's where it makes it less complicated. If this card is used as a synchro material, all other synchro materials must be Nordics. Once per turn, you can send one Nordic monster from your deck to the graveyard. This card's level becomes the level of that monster until the end of this turn. So say you have these two on the field, but you don't have a way to get Solotov out, and you have her in your hand, easy. Summon Vanitas, use her effect to get Lysov through the graveyard, bam, she's level 5, and hello Loki. Same with everything else there, and her name is Nordic Ascendant, and she's a tuner, so basically Odin has 2 different cards to revive him. If you have both of these in the graveyard. Also, because of Valkyrie series cards, it's specific that this card is not treated as a Valkyrie card. I had to point that out. Now we have some of the really good spells. We've got a Terraforming in here just to get out the Nordic Lights. And this is really overpowered. Like, if you have Field Barrier, oh my goodness, it is hard to get rid of any card at all. What this does, oh yeah, I might want to read this guy's effect. If this card battles a level 4 or lower monster, after the damage calculation, you can return the card to their hand, like to the opponent's hand. Now, he has an annoying 1,900 defense. So if you set him and they attack you with him with a level 4 or lower monster that has less than that less attack than that defense, it gets sent right back to the hand immediately. Now, what the Nordic Lights do is Nordic monsters on the field cannot be destroyed by battle. It's amazing. But here's the downside to it to make it less OP. If this card on the field is destroyed, destroy all Nordic monsters on the field. It stinks. Now we have a Monster Reborn, because why not? If your plan fails to bring one of these guys back, bam, just Monster Reborn them. And then we have the Relics. Nordic Relic, I don't know how to say a lot of these. Now there's 2 of these in the deck, because equipped to an Aether, these guys, well, an Aesir monster. These guys are Aesirs, because they're gods. Or Nordic monster, it gains 800 attack, and if this face-up card on the field is destroyed by card effect, you can add 1 Nordic relic from your deck to the hand. So you can get any one of these really good relics here. And we have a Mystical Space Typhoon for destruction, a Dark Hole, because why not? A March Towards Ragnarok. Now, this can work for any of them, but it's better suited for Thor, not because Thor's on the picture, but because Thor doesn't really need his effects that much. And target 1 Aesir monster you control until the end of this turn. Its effects are negated. Also, that face-up monster is unaffected by other spells and traps. Now, It's great to do this to Thor because Loki needs his effects in order to stop a spell and trap once. And why would you give it to Odin? Odin can do that anyways. His effect is literally to make him unaffected. So there's no point in that. A soul charge, so you can revive one of these guys, like as a backup for reviving these guys in case the revival fails again. And we have the 3 main forbidden cards. These do a lot of the similar things. I don't feel like reading them because I don't have much time, so you guys can pause the video and read them yourselves. This is Dress, Chalice, and Lance. And then we have Hey Trunade. Now, for some reason the card does not say Hey Trunade, but in real life it is Hey Trunade. What this does is return all set spells and traps on the field to the hand. So that's really good if you have her and you have set cards. Like, you can't use her effect because you have set cards, but you can use Hey Trunade to return them to your hand and have her be the only card before you summon her. Now we have one of the best traps I have in this deck, like for relics. Banish 1 Aesir or Nordic monster you control, then target 1 card on the field and destroy it. Also, during your second end phase after activation, return the banished monster to activate this card in face-up attack position. Like, you can do that to Thor if you don't need him for the moment, and you can bring him back in literally 2 turns. Now here's my favorite trap, because what it does is target 1 Aesir or Nordic monster you control, its attack and defense becomes double its original until the end of this turn, but it cannot attack your opponent directly, unfortunately. Now if you give that to Odin here, that's 8,000 attack and nothing can destroy him at that point. Now this is a really good defensive trap. Like, your opponent controls a really powerful monster and you have one of these guys in attack mode. They're very weak, but this helps you with that. Target 1 face-up monster you control and 1 face-up monster your opponent controls. The attack of the first target becomes equal to the attack of the second target, which means in battle, if your opponent is battling you, you can activate this, target the monster they're attacking, and target the one they're attacking with, or maybe if they have a stronger monster on the field that they're not attacking with first, target that one, and basically you're saved from that battle, or they are both destroyed, depending on what you choose. Now here's a really good one that not a lot of people run, but they should, because of what it does. Target 1 monster on the field that destroyed a monster by battle this turn, destroy it. Cards and card effects cannot be activated in response in this activation, which means nothing can negate this because you can't activate anything to negate it. Now, here's the best not Nordic relic card in this deck. It's Glafnir of the I don't know. People just call it Glafnir. Whatever. And it's a search card. They made it into a trap so it didn't have to be limited. Add 1 Nordic monster from your deck to your hand. That's all it does. And then we have a Solemn that's specific for the Aesirs. As you can tell, because it looks like Odin here is on the picture, if you couldn't tell. Activate this card by targeting 1 Aesir monster you control. It cannot be targeted by card effects while this card is on the field. Send this card to the graveyard after your second standby phase, after your second standby phase per activation. After activation, I'm sorry. So that's really good, because if you can combo that off by, if you have all three of these guys out, you can use Odin's effect, then use March towards Ragnarok on Thor, and then use Solemn Authority on Loki, so every last one of them can be unaffected. And a new card that I haven't really gotten to use yet, Odin's Eye. Once per turn during each player's standby phase, you can target one Azure monster you control, negate its effects until the end of this turn. And if you do, look at the cards in your opponent's hand and set all cards they control. It's amazing. And here's the best part of it. It's a continuous trap, and your opponent cannot activate cards or card effects in response of this effect's activation. And here is the final card, the Crystal Wing Synchron Dragon. Now, I'm running out of time here, so I'm just gonna let you guys read this, and yeah. Given how weak my recorder has been lately on this, cutting me out lately, I'm not going to be doing a duel this time, but in the next episode of this, I will 100% be doing a duel with this deck. So, I hope you guys read this card while I was saying all that. These are the Nordics. They're really good. They have a lot of other supports that are really good, but I just put in what I put in because I thought they looked good for the deck. They even have a Link monster if you guys like Link summoning. But yeah, they have amazing cards to them. I've never seen a lot of people use this guy or this guy, but they can be very good in the deck. It all depending. But I'm gonna end the episode here, guys. This might be going up a little earlier because I got a lot of stuff to do on a lot of other things. So I hope you all have a wonderful day. I'll see you all next time, and goodbye. Hopefully you can all hear me this entire video. It's going to be awkward if you can't. Bye-bye.